The Road Not Taken is a poem by Robert Frost, published in 1916 as the first poem in the collection Mountain Interval. History: Frost spent the years 1912 to 1915 in England, where among his acquaintances was the writer Edward Thomas. Thomas and Frost became close friends and took many walks together. After Frost had returned to New Hampshire in 1915, he sent Thomas an advance copy of The Road Not Taken. The poem was intended by Frost as a gentle mocking of indecision, particularly the indecision that Thomas had shown on their many walks together. However, Frost later expressed chagrin that most audiences took the poem more seriously than he had intended. In particular, Thomas took it seriously and personally, and it provided the last straw in Thomas' decision to enlist in World War I. Thomas was killed 2 years later in the Battle of Arras. Analysis: The Road Not Taken is a narrative and autobiographical poem consisting of 4 stanzas of iambic tetrameter and is one of Frost's most popular works. This poem symbolizes that life always gives you 2 choices. The poem, besides being among the best known, is also one of the most misunderstood. The final lines "I took the one less traveled by / and that has made all the difference" are often cited as emblematic of America's individualist spirit of adventure, in a reading that assumes they are to be taken literally. But whatever difference the choice might have made, it was not made on the basis of a discerned difference between the 2 paths that opened up before the traveler. The speaker admits in the second and third stanzas that both paths may be equally worn and equally leaf-covered, and it is only in his future recollection that he will call one of the 2 roads, the one he took, less traveled by. The sigh can be interpreted as one of regret or of self-satisfaction. In either case, the irony lies in the distance between what the speaker has just told us about the road's similarity and what his or her later claims will be. Frost might also have intended a personal irony. In a 1925 letter to Christine Yates of Dixon, Tennessee, asking about the sigh, Frost replied, "It was my rather private jest at the expense of those who might think I would yet live to be sorry for the way I had taken in life." According to Larry L. Finger's analysis, nearly all critics have agreed that the sigh represents regret, as this is mirrored in the regretful tone of the opening lines. He quotes scholar Eleanor Sickles as saying that the poem is about the human tendency to wobble illogically in decision and later to assume that the decision was, after all, logical and enormously important, but forever to tell of it with a sigh is depriving the speaker of who knows what interesting experience. Likewise, Frost's biographer Lawrence Thompson is cited as saying that the speaker of the poem is one who habitually wastes energy in regretting any choice made. Belatedly but wistfully he sighs over the attractive alternative rejected. While a case could be made for the sigh being one of satisfaction, given the critical support of the regret analysis, it seems fair to say that this poem is about the human tendency to look back and attribute blame to minor events in one's life, or to attribute more meaning to things than they may deserve. References. External links. The Road Not Taken at poets.org, 3 audio readings of The Road Not Taken, information about the poem and about Frost's life, critical essays on The Road Not Taken.